Hello, this is the Harbor Night. I'm Mary. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me. So feedback is greatly important. Feel free to reach out to me. So audio platforms. Some of the audio platforms are Morning Spreaker, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, just to name a few. All right, so this episode is centered around the aspects of pearls. I'm going to talk about facts of pearls. And also I'm going to talk about the impact that it has in society with phrases referring to pearls and my thoughts. Here we go. Okay, so here are some of my thoughts that I have on this subject before I get right into the facts. All right, so pearls are quite interesting, specifically with the aspects of, I see pearls as, a gift that you get from the ocean, and it's also quite interesting with the aspects of jewels and all these factors that lay in it. And particularly when you get with now pearls kind of, technically they are precious, but in a different way. Typically you think about precious metals, you think about things that are diamonds and so forth. And it's quite interesting with the aspects of that when it comes to creating and placing value on jewels. So pearls are quite unique in the aspects that you actually have to go deep in the ocean, deep sea diving and so forth. From what I understand, I'm not getting all that. And there's also a different element with the aspects of the type of water that pearls are found in and everything else. And so I'm going to get into talking about the aspects of precious jewels and so forth, and wrap it on up with that. So diamonds are considered girls' best friend and so forth. But with pearls, you got pearls of wisdom and so forth. They're seen as the aspects of something that is of, the best way I can equate it, pearls are really associated with the being, sophisticated and chic, sort of, and then, but also, it's weird to put, humanistic qualities on something that's an inanimate object, but also the aspects of something that's supposed to be older or, not as flashy as, certain jewels. For instance, diamonds, or you get in rubies, or you get, and then the list goes down the line with sapphires and all kinds of stuff. And, it's just a simple part. And I think it's also quite interesting with the aspects getting into diamonds and stuff like that. How with the aspects of what it's worth to, it goes to, do you want it mined? Do you want it synthetic? Which is really strange when it goes in the aspects of getting a diamond that's synthetic. That's supposed to be diamonds that are, they have developed the technique in the lab to where there's, there's no flaws at all, but it's considered less valuable because of the means and ways that it was produced. And so that goes into the aspects about jewels, pearls in itself too, the value that are placed with these items in culture. And then what that also has a lot to say about the impact that jewels have on society. Okay, with this said, I'm going to get into facts. Here we go. Okay, and of course, sources will be provided. All right. So, here we go. If I could get it. All right. Here we go. Pearl and symbolism. So, first, before I start digging into this one, let me go back and give you the AI generated response. Okay, so it says, pearls have long been surrounded by a rich tapestry of folklore and myths across various cultures. In ancient Rome and Greek mythology, the birth of pearls is closely related to the goddess Venus, with the belief that the drops of water on Venus turn into pearls. In Hindu culture, pearls were associated with the moon and were symbols of love and purity. The story that Krishna discovered the first pearl, which he presented to his daughter on her wedding day. In Chinese folklore, there are several legends about the origin of pearls. One of them say that due to fierce battles between the clouds of two strong dragons, a terrible thunderstorm began, accompanied by thunder and lightning. After that, an unusual rain of silvery pearls fell on the earth's sky. So, according to another legend, pearls are viscous with moonlight that fell into a shell open to meet it on a full moon. Alright, so Japanese folklore tells that pearls were born from the tears of mythical creatures like mermaids and nymphs. And that's quite interesting with the aspects of the tales. So Hans Christensen, he created the story, The Little Mermaid. And, that's would really associate that with Norwegian, sort of Dutch, that sort of, if I'm not mistaken, Eastern European. Correct me if I'm wrong, from that reign of territory. And so how that translates to other cultures, Japanese cultures, it's a unique tale that's something different to Witch's Home, which is, I think, is really nice to see that, other cultures adapting of its own, but also being in the realm of reality of the situation of the imagery of mermaids. Because there's nothing wrong with admitting that in the aspects of the way things look, that something looks a certain way, and that the way it is treasured, beloved, and so forth. And why not go along the terms and along the aspects of keeping up the tradition of that? And so my whole reason of bringing all this up is the aspects of the recreation of The Little Mermaid today. And then saying that, that is such a testament of triumph by having an African American cast in the Little Mermaid role, when that's going away from the tradition of how mermaids are told about, looked, and are personified. And so that's one of those things with, wouldn't it be far better to hold on to the traditions of what the way things uniquely look, instead of melding it and with a political agenda and tearing it away from the the respect of just seeing things for what it is. And that's the beauty about teaching children and instilling in children that it's far better to see the world for what it is instead of just creating it because of somebody says that, or makes you believe that you're less than because somebody is saying that you're less than when that's not really the case. And not looking at that so many other rich traditions that you can, make stories out of. I mean, there's countless Afro-Caribbean, African American, and African tales that can be told and have unique shared stories, and that goes across the board. And I don't know, it's something to be said about that. And I appreciate when the imagery of mermaids they're told, but they're told in a way that's realistic to what you would expect something to look like. All right, so Japanese folklore tells that pearls were born from the tears of mythical creatures like mermaids and nymphs. So the Japanese also believe that pearls were created from the tears of sea dragons, which symbolize sorrow and tears, but these tears were believed to have healing power, making pearls symbols of purity and innocence. In ancient Persia, pearls were believed to be the tears of the gods. In the Islamic tradition, pearls were held in high regard, with Quran speaking of pearls as one of the greatest rewards found in paradise. And the gem itself has become a symbol of perfection. And see, also within this... Hello, Moto. Alright, sorry about that. Had to take that call. Okay, so what I was going to say is this, and I'll continue on with the rest of the facts and go on. Alright, so Quran. It is quite interesting about the aspects of that old adage that bad apples can spoil the bunch. And so what I mean by this, the imagery of Islamic culture is this, as, there's good and bad in everything. And then it's unfortunate with the aspects of Islamic culture. There's a lot of traditions that are not really favorable for the growth and the development of being human. And so when we get the book like the Quran, there's a lot of aspects in the Quran that are very noble and just, and that is very rich and fulfilling to faith. And that's something to really consider when we talk about the aspects of everything. But also at the same time, the ugly reality of one of those things in the traditions of Islamic culture that strips away from the correlation of being just the divinity of hope. And that's something really quite interesting when we talk about the Quran and Islamic faith. So, and then also going on the lines of it's getting a little bit better, as I said, but we still need to see things for what it is. And then also that how does things that are written and things that are practiced in faith, how does that translates to the harsh reality situation that goes on and to the Muslim community and the Muslim traditions of how people are treated? That's something to really, just have an honest conversation about. All right, so it says that found in paradise, and the gem itself has become a symbol of perfection. So, in Irish, there is an Irish superstition that says it is considered bad luck for a woman to receive pearls except from her husband on their wedding day. Any other time, it is an omen of death. And so I think, from my point of view, this is a good moral code to say it's far better to be in a to accept something that is of commitment, something that's prosperous towards commitment, instead of just being a woman that's being chased all the time. So in Greek mythology, pearls were believed to be created by the tears of Aphrodite, and wearing pearls on the wedding day would stop a bride from shedding tears. All right, so I am going to expand out on this. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. Wrap everything up here for you. Okay. All right, so this is by International Gem Society, and it's entitled Pearl Symbolism. So it says, what are pearls? Understanding their unique formation. Unlike most treasure gems from beneath the Earth's surface, pearl gems are not just mere stones. First documented by Chinese historians in 2206 BCE, to be exact, pearls have held gemstone status for thousands of years, despite their distinct origins. While diamonds, emeralds, rubies, and sapphires, ooh, how nice, develops as minerals underground, pearls form organically within variations of fresh water and salt water. Ancient civilizations, however, rarely distinguished between pearls and mineral stones. So pearl symbols and lunar connections, the moon gems. The perfectly round, luminous appearance of pearls are particularly saltwater varieties, which creates a undeniable visual connection to the moon. So while freshwater pearls often develop and are varied and unusual shapes, the soft white orbs commonly found among saltwater pearls, that is, have become the idealized form, strongly evoking lunar imagery that influences their symbolic meaning across cultures. So, ancient Vex text says that, are talking about the pearls in this form. So, earth's water and heaven's forms its power. So, let me say that again. So, out of the text, the pearl is born of the earth's waters and the heaven's powers. So, fertilized by the flash of lightning. And there you go. It's considered to be the daughter of the moon. In Western cultures, the pearl has astrological associations with the planet Venus. Like pearls, the goddess of love came from the sea. So, Aphrodite, that is. So, do pearls represent tears, the watery origin in mythology? So, as I stated, here we go with an extended background about this representation of pearls and tears, particularly with the mythical Greek, Roman mythical aspects of it. All right, so the smooth droplet appears as pearls, as creating an endurance associated with tears throughout mythology. Some legends describe white pearls as divine tears shed by the gods. One particularly poignant myth claims that tears Eve cried upon her banishment from Eden transformed into pearls. Quite interesting. And so it's really also to add on to this is with the allegory, a lot of aspects. Well, particularly just not allegory, because I don't know, to each his own about the aspects of your point of view about the Bible. But there's a mixture of symbolic meaning behind of what that actually means by turning tears into pearls. And so I think the really good association of this is, from my point of view of explaining it like this. So a lot is, which is very, very uniquely surrounded with religion. You know, some people have the connotation that religion, whatever is written in religion, is set in stone. It's the true word of God and so forth in the text. But other people have a different point of view about that, which I do. That, it's also, it's pulled from, it's a mixture of, as I said, allegory, which is mainly associated with great literature. And I would associate the greatest work of all. It's a mixture of everything, I think, with the Bible, which gives a more interesting approach of also with your perspective of how you should approach the Christian faith and all of that. So it's not only that, it's metaphors, similes, and so forth to bring on the point and re-emphasize the importance of the text of, the moral aspects that you're supposed to learn from. And so the fact that pearls are used to symbolize Eve's descendant into the mistakes or the punishment that is about to happen because of the sin. The pearls are, supposed to be of luxury, and now that pleasure in the joy of not having to toil and sweat and by the sweat of the brow of her husband and have to endure pain, that's all gone. And that's quite nice to have the simple symbolic undertones behind using pearls. All right, so the symbolism across diverse traditions go on. All right, so what do pearls symbolize about wealth and wisdom? Natural pearls are extremely rare, which increase their value increases considerably. So the quest of perfect pearls has continued for centuries, with the evidence of pearl civilizations dating back to at least the 13th century CE. So there are historical sacredity which influence their symbolic connections to wealth in quite interesting ways. So here are some examples of that. So ancient magical traditions include spells that the practitioner, there we go, the practitioner would infuse fine pearls with desires for riches before discarding them. So the act of throwing away something so valuable symbolizes existing wealth. Here's another example. It says, this is a biblical example here. It says in Matthew 7:6, caution against casting pearls before swine, which means warning against wasting valuable wisdom on those who cannot appreciate it. That goes a long way. It's one of those things, once you make peace with that, oh man, let me tell you, your life will become a lot simpler. All right, so the phrase pearls of wisdom derives from the era before pearl culture, when finding pearls required tremendous efforts and luck. Oh, excuse me. Are pearls associated with feminine energy? Pearls' associations with the moon and Venus seem to reinforce the popular perceptions that it is a feminine jewel. So, mineralogist George Kunz, in his work in 1913, The Curious Lure of Precious Stones, made this comparison between diamond and pearls. It says this: the diamond is to the pearl as the sun is to the moon, and we might well call one the king gem and the other the queen gem. The diamond, like a knight of old, brilliant and resistant, is the emblem of fearfulness and invincibility. The pearl, like a lady of old, pure and fair to look upon, is the emblem of modesty and purity. All right, so what makes pearls traditional for brides? The association between pearls and weddings remains strong in many cultures, even on today, as of today. So, white pearls, the color which aligns with Western notions of innocence and purity, is the traditional birthstone of June. So, and then also on the add-on that this is traditionally the understood practice to have weddings, particularly in America and so forth. So pearls connect naturally with the historical popular wedding month. So folk traditions suggest pearls can prevent newly brides from crying. Asian bridal customs incorporate pearl necklaces as a fertility symbol. How are pearls used by kings? So despite contemporary associations with femininity, pearls are associated with femininity, pearls enjoy significant popularity among male royalty throughout history. In ancient civilization, kings routinely wore elaborate pearls ropes as visual markers of extraordinary wealth. Royal treasurers often contain significant pearl collections. So the perception of pearls as exclusively feminine are to the contrary. So, what is the difference of pearls that are colored, and what does that symbolize in cultural meaning? What is the cultural value within it? All right, so Polynesian legends tell of a god Lono descending on a rainbow to represent black pearls to a princess. So these gems with rainbow colors and divine are linked to divine aspects of that. Quite interesting. So Chinese cultural traditions particularly value golden pearls as a symbol of prosperity and good fortune. Chinese artwork frequently depicts dragons holding golden pearls, representing power and wisdom. Alright, so dragons and Chinese pearl symbolism. So pearl symbolism intertwines deeply with the dragon mythology and Chinese culture. Throughout various ancient tales, early myths describe pearls falling from the sky during the celestial battles of dragons among the clouds. Alright, so what do pearls symbolize about the soul's journey? What are some spiritual aspects about pearls? Many ancient Asian cultures interpret the seemingly miraculous appearance of a perfect pearl within humble oysters as evidence of divine presence. Pearls represent the soul's journey towards perfection and enlightenment. Ancient burial customs include placing pearls in the mouths of the deceased to assist their spiritual journey beyond death. Mourners during burial, they clothe them with pearls and gifts with pearls, being as practical decorations but evolving into deeply symbolic rituals. Alright, so are they considered lucky or unlucky? Pearl symbols include contradictory perspectives on their influence on fortune. Hold on, honey. The violence inherent in harvesting pearls from living, the violent inherent in harvesting pearls, that is, from living creatures, has taking pearls from an oyster considered. This is what it's saying from my interpretation. Has contributed to superstitions and bad luck. So many pearls related superstition connections to the ideas of purity. So jewelry with histories involving jealousy or malice reportedly brings misfortune to those sharing similar traits. So pearls are given with pure intention and love are consistently regarded as symbols of purity, fertility, and life's natural cycles. All right, so this reaches the end. I'd like to know what you all think about these aspects of Pearls and his contribution and the cultural values that Pearls have given to us. Feel free to reach out. The best way is email, but I'm on different aspects of social media. The prominent ones is X, and also use Substack as a means of social media to reach out to me. All right, so tune in, turn up, and definitely take care. Bye-bye for now.